this is gonna be an interesting topic tonight, man. Especially with Herschel Walker, man. I was talking with news about this yesterday a little bit before we got off the live stream about how his son. If y'all haven't had a chance to see his son, what's his name? Christian Walker. I mean, Christian's just been going off.
Yeah, Christian wilding. He's wilding. Matter of fact, we're gonna touch right up on that, man. That's gonna be the lead story for tonight. We're also gonna be talking about Wes Moore, who is running for governor of Maryland, black man. So we got a couple people that's supposed to be coming in. Miss Grade 8, she's from around that area, so she's gonna discuss Wes Moore and everything that's going on with him. But
yeah, hey,
yeah, man, Christian,
real
Christian,
real quick. Andre, I'm trying to add you as a speaker. You might have to drop out and come back in because it keeps saying there's an error message. Andre,
yeah, man. Andre, you get a chance, drop and come back in. Did you try to add him as a speaker now? You still having some issues? Or?
Yeah, every time you add him, it says there's an error message.
Let me try to see real quick. Okay, I invited him to speak, so...
what's up, my brother, Black Pressure?
Okay, Black Pressure trying to come up to speak too?
No, I was just giving that brother a shout out, man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Black Pressure, you get a chance if you want to come on up here, man. Also, but yeah, man, Christian, I can't be ready to call him Christian McCaffrey because the boy didn't play football, but Christian Walker, man.
He played for the Panthers.
Yeah, this joker been wild in here, man. Like, I mean, you already know he's a character already, so now he's going in on his pops. So I'm like, damn.
You know what's crazy is I don't even follow this Christian. I do not follow him on social media, and you would be surprised how much his face pops up on my timeline.
Hey, Andre, I'm sending you an invite to speak. I know you was requesting, so I don't know if it's an issue with the space or whatnot. You get a chance, you can definitely come up here and speak or whatever. But yeah, man, we're gonna be hitting two topics tonight. We're gonna be talking about Herschel Walker, and we're gonna be also talking about Baltimore. You got a Baltimore candidate by the name of Wes Moore that's running for governor, I should say, of Maryland. He was looking to become the first black governor in the history of that state. We know that we don't have many black governors and whatnot, but I've been hearing a lot of different things. So we're gonna have some people from actually in that area. We're gonna have hopefully have a couple people from that area that can tell us about him and what he's about. I see Whitney gave like a thumbs down, so I guess
bro. It's more the same bullshit, bro. So obviously you send out the notification of what the space is gonna be. So when I saw it, I said, I don't know who this cat is, so I'm gonna kind of look into him a little bit. So I started looking up his policies, man. It's more black and brownness. I'm like, come on, bro. It's just more the same.
Oh yeah, and like I said, we got Miss Whitney. She's up here giving them the thumbs down. So quite a few people. I've heard quite a few of the brothers and sisters saying that that when it comes to time to actually come see the black people in the actual cities and stuff like that, that he's been a no show. I know he was supposed to do something at the HBCU and he ended up canceling at the last minute or whatever. So I guess that didn't sit well with the folks there either. So yeah, him and Herschel Walker are going to be the discussion tonight. So I'm glad that y'all coming in. Y'all coming in. Go ahead and tweet it out. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to touch up on this thing with Herschel Walker here because we might as well go ahead and get this. Of course, everybody that knows Herschel Walker, former NFL running back, college superstar from the University of Georgia, is running against Raphael Warnock to become the next senator of the state of Georgia. Candidates facing off. You're going to have Raphael Warnock is already the senator there, but to my knowledge, it's the first time that you have two black senators facing off against each other. I could be wrong, so don't hold me to that. The first time in Georgia history. So this is how it is. Lately, we've been seeing like his whole campaign seem to go down the toilet bowl right now. Is late, just as they closing into the actual election date and whatnot, and he's supposed to also battle Raphael Warnock in a debate, and he didn't sound too confident in his chances and whatnot too. So let's go ahead and go in a little bit on Herschel Walker and talk about him and what's going on in his personal life, which seems to be spilling out into his actual campaign. So Donald Trump, Herschel Walker was one of Donald Trump's main boys that he went up there and tried to put up there. And like I said, I'm no Raphael Warnock fan. I don't live in the state of Georgia. I don't have a dog in the fight per se. But Herschel Walker was handpicked by Donald Trump, and I know we have you probably have a lot of Republicans that's up in that state right now in Georgia, wishing Donald Trump had stayed out of it and had not given his Herschel Walker, because Herschel Walker, just mind state wise, man, he's really, I mean, this dude almost needs to get checked for that CTE that a lot of these football players suffer from, massive concussions and stuff throughout their career. So some of the stuff he says makes absolutely, positively no sense whatsoever. Go ahead, Black Pressure.
Hey, mine is quick news. What's up, Black family? What's up, Ray? What's up, DJ? Hey, news. Have you heard Herschel Walker attempt to use the English language? If anybody loses to this dude, I would quit life. I would outright retire from politics, and I promise I'd start a street life or something. This dude has, I don't know, I don't even know if I can call the brother dumb. That might be a compliment. And that's all I had to say for right now.
Oh yeah, we definitely. I mean, we grew up listening to Herschel when he played football and stuff, and even when we was like 5, 6, 7 years old, we used to be sitting up there like, "What is this dude talking about?" Like we learned English ourselves to this dude. We like, what in the world is Herschel talking about? You got it, Ray. Go ahead, Ray, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna touch up on this article real quick.
I was just gonna add that I'm just very conflicted about this because obviously you guys have heard me say this before, especially if you guys used to come to those spaces where news would talk about sports. I am a big Georgia fan, huge Georgia Bulldogs fan, because I was born in Georgia. I was born in Adel, raised in Valdosta, Georgia. I've said that multiple times. So I'm very conflicted because honestly, we know Herschel, especially if you're a Georgia fan, he's like royalty. He really is. He's royalty in Georgia because we just get our second championship back when they won the title in the I believe that was the 80s when he got that, and the other one was in 1943, and obviously we just won last year. So he's really, really royalty in Georgia. But I also have to admit that this man is a goddamn coon. I mean, that's just what it is, and I'm very conflicted because one of the heroes that helped us get a title after all these years is just this huge, just magpie. I mean, Sambo. I mean, you want to talk about soft shoeing? This man is. He could be on the. On that alone is just crazy. But yeah, that's all I was gonna say. Very conflicted on this brother because, like I said, he meant so much to the state of Georgia, and also on the flip side of that, Raphael Warnock. He's only known for what I know, just being in Georgia, of just having the church that Martin Luther King, I believe, used to preach in. So that's all he's really known for. So I mean, we got two shitty candidates in the state of Georgia that's trying to take this seat, and I land there.
Hey, DJ, just in case, I already sent you the actual the co-host thing, so you get a chance, go ahead and accept that. I know you're doing something right now, but whenever you get a chance, go ahead and accept that. And yeah, I just want to touch up on this article that Black Enterprise went ahead and they published, also curator on the Newstoter.com platform. And yeah, it's just the title is Senate candidate Herschel Walker blasted by son Christian. Everything has been a lie. So this is in the words of Christian Walker, his son, whatever. Like I say, Black Enterprise, they published this. We curated on Newstoter. And it says, Herschel Walker's family matters are on full blast. Walker's very conservative son, TikTok star Christian Walker, has turned the tables on his father, U.S. Senator in Georgia. Christian took to his Twitter account to slam his father on Monday night. He did not hold back. The younger Walker called out his absent dad for his seedy history that culminated with the woman who recently said the pro-lifer paid for her abortion. $700 this woman claimed that the pro-lifer paid for her abortion. Christian said Walker's family begged him not to run for political office. Every family member of Herschel Walker asked him not to run for office because we all know of his past. Every single one of us. He decided to get and aired all his dirty laundry in public. while simultaneously lying about it. I'm done. Hey Ray, you guys go ahead, and somebody comes up like original, go ahead and allow him to come on up. The very outspoken Christian blasted his father on the values he claims to be running on after not showing any during his upbringing. He started to air even more dirty laundry by revealing the threats the former athlete made against his family, as well as his penchant for banging a bunch of women. I know my mom and I would really appreciate if my father, Herschel Walker, stopped lying and making a martyr. You're not a family man. When you left us to bang a bunch of women, threatened to kill us, and had us move over 6 times in 6 months running from your violence. He then took to video to express his disappointment and to dispute the values his father claims he runs on. I stayed silent for nearly 2 years as my whole life has been lied about publicly. I did one campaign event, then I said I didn't want any more involvement. Walker, a University of Georgia football legend in the early 1980s, is running against incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock as a number fourth between the candidates. A debate was expected to possibly help Warnock clinch the race. I'm a country boy, Walker admitted. I'm not that smart. He's a preacher. Warnock is smart and wears these nice suits, so he's going to show up and embarrass me at the debate on October 14th. I'm just waiting to show up, and I will do my best. The debate is scheduled to take place at Plant Riverside, Savannah, Georgia's entertainment district, and will air on television networks throughout the state. So, yeah, this guy's already saying that when he had the debate against him, he's going to get wasted. I mean, how many political people sit up here and actually say that their opponent is going to blow them out the water when they get ready to have a debate? He's sitting up here saying that I'm not that smart. The son really, I mean, I don't know how much of his campaign he has left, but the son done all but buried him. I mean, this thing, from what I heard, was pretty close between him and Warnock or whatnot. But even some of the biggest Trump supporters, I got a feeling that state they may even turn their back on Walker right here. And to have your son come out this close to the election and just really put it on you, man, that could be the death blow for your boy right here. I don't know how he's going to recover from that. It's going to be very interesting to see. The son, who's always been his biggest cheerleader, literally and figuratively, now he has come out and he has blasted his dad, and he has put up all the kind of stereotypes that white men love to talk about black men. He's saying that your daddy running around and daddy was violent and daddy was this and daddy wasn't around and this and that. Yeah, this is not looking too great right here. We're going to go Professor, Original, and Clarence. Ray, your co-host, so we'll get to you in a second. So, Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody in this space. Good evening, I should say. Newstoter, once again, great space, man. Ray, DJ, everybody up in this space, man. Peace, power, and reparations. Let me just say this to you, Ray. As an Auburn man, you already know what's coming upon us this weekend.
You already know. I can't wait for it.
So you already know that when you talk about Herschel Walker, you know, as Auburn people, we think about Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson is the equivalent to Herschel Walker.
Bo knows.
Bo knows. So I can just imagine if I had to deal with Bo right now running for something, it would be the same situation, man. Because Bo and Herschel are kind of in the same situation. Because Bo is a coon too. I'm just telling you. And he's one of my favorite players of all time, but he is a coon. Okay? But I will say this. I think Raphael Warnock is going to win this thing, man. He's going to pull it out. With all this that's coming out about Herschel Walker, and I think even some of the Republicans, the higher up Republicans like Mitch McConnell, and some of those, you know, things like that, are just not going to get behind him. I land my plane there.
Absolutely appreciate you, brother. And let me say this part right here before I kick it to you, Original. Like, I'm no Herschel Walker fan. I don't support his politics. I don't like Herschel Walker in terms of being what you consider a black leader or whatever. I know he probably doesn't even look at himself as a black leader. I will say this much right here, though. I don't know the relationship with him and his son, but to go ahead and to publicly attack your father like that right before what was probably his biggest bar in sports, probably his biggest day professionally in his life, becoming fast approaching the biggest day professionally in his life, to go ahead and attack him like that. I mean, this is something I really feel that you could have went ahead, you could have had a heart to heart, you could have hashed this stuff out. If you don't want to support your dad, just don't come around, don't say anything, this and that. But to publicly go in on him like that, like I said, with everything that's at stake or whatever, I just find it a little bit, I say a little bit unsettling because of how things are nowadays. But I'm just a little bit at loss for words right there because that could have been said privately. You didn't have to go in on him like that, in front of the cameras or whatnot. But like I say, I'm interested to hear you guys' opinion as well too. So Original, then Clarence. Go ahead, Original. Unmute your mic.
All right, peace and reparations, everybody. Well, I'm in agreement with what Ray was saying. You got two bootlicking Sambos running for a position, and neither one of them will do anything for black folks. Now, one has on Raphael has on his platform what he intends to do for illegal aliens who can't vote him into office. Herschel came out and said that he was against reparations, so neither one will get my vote. And as far as this attack, I think there's some deep, some deep-seated family issues that were never resolved, and they was trying to portray Herschel as being this, I guess, somewhat intellectual person because they pulled information stating that he had stated that he graduated top of his class, and they said no, that didn't happen. But my point is that, see, again, this is how politics are. But the one thing he may have going for him is that these deep-seated, inherently racist white folks here in Georgia and some of the stupid black folks that follow them, they will probably vote for him just because they want a Republican in that seat. Now there may be a little different because with this entire thing with the abortion issue and that has been brought up as well. So there may be some Republicans who will vote for Raphael just for that reason. But neither one of them is a choice. Is a choice for me to vote for. And I mean that's just being real because if you're not going to do anything for my demographic, I don't have a reason to vote for you. And I'll land on that.
Absolutely. Like that is that when they say daddy issues, that's definitely what I'm thinking about right there. That's got to be daddy issues. That, like I said, to just go in like that, this close to the election or whatever like that. That's just that's some issues that they haven't resolved or whatever, and that's some issues that you could have kept behind the scene as well too. Clarence, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yes, sir. Thank you for this great space and thank you for this great topic. I want to start off by saying that there is no perfect family. Every one of us have issues of some way, shape, or in our family. Only difference is most of us in this room are not running for office. And so we all know that politics is a dirty game. There's no ethics in it. Everybody just wants to win. And so people will do whatever it takes to smear you, to tear your family apart, to discredit you in politics. And that's the sad part about it. Now, one thing I will say that before you run for politics, and I tell a lot of my clients this, you need to have your family on board. Right? There are going to be skeletons that come out, but if the family is on board, they'll band together and they'll help you work through it for you, so forth and so on. And it seems like in the beginning, Herschel had his family on board. But somewhere along the line, as all these attacks came and the media, I think it took a toll on his son. and he folded, right? And as you said, Newstoter, a moment ago, you could have did that at the beginning. Why wait until 2 weeks before early vote and do that to your father? Issues or not, to do that to your father in that moment. That's a private conversation. That's a man-to-man conversation. Why do that at that moment? I really do. But that's neither here nor there. Honestly, I don't think that's going to hurt him much in the state of Georgia, right? Because Republicans are loyal. Second thing, this abortion thing, it's not a big deal. I know we want to make it a big deal. I don't know how many men are in this space, but I promise you that over 50% of men in this space probably have paid for an abortion before, right? And that doesn't make you a bad person. It happens. That's part of family planning. People pay for abortions. That's how they happen, right? Herschel paid for it ago. He's now saying 13 years ago later that he doesn't believe in abortion. That's okay. I paid for an abortion 20 years ago, and I don't believe in abortion anymore. People evolve, right? That doesn't make Herschel a bad person, and that shouldn't be why you're not voting for him based on that. What that means is that the opposition is so desperate right now to attack this black man who is on his way to win, and they will do everything that they can. But here's the thing about Republicans. As you said, Newstoter, they don't care about that, what his son said. They don't care about this abortion stuff. They want a Republican in the Senate to get control back in the Senate. They are loyal. See, what Democrats do, they eat their own. They find any little thing, and then they distance themselves from people. Listen, Donald Trump won the presidency after an audio tape said that he was going to grab a woman by her vagina. So do you think a man paying for an abortion is going to somehow derail his campaign? Absolutely not. Georgia is a red state. That isn't going to change. Sure, like it or not, we'll be victorious in a few weeks. And I land the plane. Appreciate it, Newstoter.
Oh, Clarence, you done predicted the upset. So you think because like I say, I'm in Florida, so I don't really care who wins. But you think that Herschel's going to be able to pull it off over Warnock?
Georgia is a red state, Newstoter. If everybody votes on party lines, there are more Republicans in Georgia than there are Democrats. Just based on that, he will win.
I'm with you. I'm in a red state right below you guys as well too. And occasionally you can sneak in Florida. You can sneak a Democrat into the governor's office. Normally, it's been Republicans, but you can occasionally sneak a Democrat in there. I think in the past 20 some years we might have had 2 governors here in Florida, so you can occasionally sneak one in. It's going to be. I think it's going to come right down to it in y'all state. Though I think I'm not saying that Herschel's not going to win, but to me, I don't know, man. That's kind of a big blow to like you say, and for the most part, the Republicans just want somebody they can control, like you say, put up there in the Senate. They know that with Herschel Walker, they'll have no resistance, they'll have no arguments from him. He's going to do exactly what he's told. He's going to behave. He's not going to put up any fight. He's not going to try to fight any battles or anything like that. He is going to just completely take any line. So they know exactly. They'd rather deal with him than Warnock. I'm not sure Warnock is going to do a whole lot more himself either. He'll at least put up the appearance that he's going to do more. I mean, it doesn't take much to do more than somebody like Herschel Walker. So we just being honest here and whatnot. So, but I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. To me, it's almost 50-50. I know you guys are a red state. The only difference in this here is that you got, for these diehards in this red state called Georgia, they're not exactly too keen that you got 2 black men, even somebody like Herschel Walker running for senator of Georgia. So, they can take the lesser 2 evils, which be Herschel. Definitely go ahead and prop him up and put him up there so he can parrot everything that they need to say and whatnot. But like I say, I wonder how will this galvanize some of the black voters and some of the non-black voters as well in Georgia as well too. So very interesting. I'm glad, Clarence, to get your perspective and your thoughts on that. So hang around the space, don't go anywhere, because tonight we're going to be talking about Herschel. We're going to be talking about Westmore too. So some of our Baltimore people slowly coming in. Miss Gray, whenever you want to talk about West, let us know. For right now, we went to Clarence. Let's go to Professor. You got your hand back up, then we're gonna go to Black Pressure.
Yeah, Newstoter. I'm just gonna say with Herschel, man, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm like this. I just don't see him win. I don't think he's going to win because of the fact the Republicans are not really behind him. They're not all on point with him. And that's been known from the very beginning that they never really stood behind Herschel Walker. He don't really have all of the support of the people that's in the upper parts of the party. So, no, I don't see him win. Clarence, I know, is predicting that, because of Georgia being a Republican state, Alabama, of course, is a Republican state. But for some reason, man, when it comes to Herschel, and I think it has a lot to do with him being a black man, this Republican Party is not going to stand behind him, Clarence. They're not going to do it, man. He's out there on his own. And with all this that's coming out, it's not helping his case any. So I just think he's just going to lose. But what I heard about it, Georgia really don't have much of a choice. They don't have much to choose from over there. I think Raphael Warnock is going to pull this thing out, man. I mean, I'm just being honest. I land my plane there.
Appreciate that, Professor. And I just get back to the point before I go ahead and we kick it to Black Pressure and then we kick it to Original. Only thing I would say is that they don't want to deal with him or not. So if you had to pick the less to two evils, they definitely feel like somebody that we'll control from day one. Like if Walker wins, now we have a certain segment, because if Walker wins, you have to have a certain segment of black people who in Georgia that's going to also vote for him as well too. So, like I said,
I don't want to cut you off, but the point is, man, they for him. But the thing is, man, I don't know if Donald Trump and the rest of those guys that's the upper part of that party really like him as one of theirs. You know what I'm saying? Because they never really have stood behind him like that. So that's why I say I don't see him pulling this out. If he had everybody's support at the top of the party, then yes, I could see him pulling that out. But a lot of those Republicans, man, that sit at the very top of the party don't stand behind him like that. So that's what I'm speaking of.
Okay, well, we definitely we'll get back to that, because, like I say, I think we gotta look at it too. Like they don't respect him. Like, and let's be for real, a lot of these black people would be a Democrat or a Republican that their party don't really respect them. They just can you be. And if he can go out there and he can, help them get that much closer to House and Senate and taking back the governor's office and everything like that, being able to actually win some black votes for the Republican Party in Georgia, then I just consider him what he is, like a useful tool, like somebody that they can, maneuver and use and whatnot, and somebody who's going to be totally loyal to him. So, and that's what Herschel has shown it most of his adult career in life, that hey, he's not going to cause any issues or any trouble like that. So I think in a sense they rather would they rather have a Raphael Warnock in Georgia again, or would they rather have Herschel Walker? And I think the GOP will say, hey, Herschel, we can control him, we can do this, we can do that, until we can find somebody else better to replace him. So if they got to use Herschel for the meantime, they're perfectly fine with that until they can get somebody better to run against him and defeat him. Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic real quick.
News. Let me apologize in advance. All right, you know, guy, right? Mess with you the long way. But News, who was this nigga Clarence? Who was this? Did you hear what he said? Did you hear that statement about us paying for abortions? Nigga, where you get this from? What, nigga? And nigga, you're lucky I respect News. I really do. So I'm really gonna temper myself right now. All you gotta do, go through this nigga page, News. You need to check this dude, for real. That was out of line to even make that statement. That was totally out of line to even say some shit like that. And then he talking about Herschel Walker. There must be two Herschel Walkers. Because the one he described, I don't know. I must be in a parallel universe. I got to be. Herschel Walker is a complete fucking coon to his bone marrow. The nigga does not mess with black women. All he messes with is white women. You can see his son is a maggot with an F, and that's literally because he was never in that boy's life. But anyway, I'm gonna land my plane. But I want to know who this nigga is for real.
Yo, y'all chill, man. He just a brother that's stating his opinion. Whether we agree with it or not, let's just kind of be respectful. Black pressure. I know you trying not to go in, so let's your brother. What he's trying to say is that, and I heard what the brother also said too. I don't know if you might have missed his black pressure. He was saying that 20 years ago that he paid for one, but at the same time he's saying today because he evolved that he doesn't support abortion anymore. So what he was trying to use as an example was saying that, hey, at one time I believed in it. I evolved as a person. I no longer support it or will vote for it or whatever. So, I'm not trying to read the brother's mind or anything like that, but it just seems like to me that's what he was trying to imply. Clarence, I'll go ahead if you want to go back and put your hand back up, and I'll let you get a chance to respond after Riddle goes and Ray and DJ, but if you want to respond or whatever, just if you want to clarify your statement or whatever, because I get what the brother's saying that he not all about the 50% of people in here paying for one or whatever, nobody she can't really validate anything like that.
Yeah, I need to hear that explanation. I'm all ears.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and Clarence, I'm gonna go ahead and let Clarence go ahead and just clarify that, and then we'll get to you.
Just for the record, real quick, Tyler, 85% of most black fathers are actual fathers in their life, by the way, too, on that 50% statement.
Oh, no doubt. Go ahead, Clarence.
Give me a quick second, Newstoter. Let somebody else go real quick. I'm gonna come back and respond. Give me a quick second.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and just hang around. We'll get back to you. Let me go to my man Original. He had his hand up, and we're gonna get to Ray and DJ. Original, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I just want to say this. A lot of what's going on here in Georgia has to do with optics. Okay, because and whoever said they don't want to see either Herschel or Raphael in that position. They're right. You have this one. He's a white guy. I think he might be of the Jewish belief. He's running for lieutenant governor. Now there was a black guy that I'm not fond of either. His name is Kwanzaa Hall. He had a good chance on becoming the nominee for a lieutenant governor here in Georgia. But I was talking with someone and they said that it was about the optics of the entire process, whereby, Big Swole, she's running for governor. And so they did not want a black woman as governor and then a black man as lieutenant governor, because that would show that the white people are losing. Because years ago, it was around maybe 2016 or 2012, where it was stated that blacks here in Georgia, they outvoted whites for the first time. A lot of feathers where the white people were thinking, because see, down in South Georgia, there's a town called Quickman, Georgia, and so it was called the Quickman 10 or something like that, where these black folks, they organized themselves and they got out, did the footwork, and they were elected to the school board, where they outnumbered, with the black people in that county, they outnumbered the whites. And then when they voted themselves in, they outnumbered them on the school board so that they could make the decision. That the then governor, his name was Nathan Deal, they tried to prosecute these people, saying that they cheated. It was, the same old malarkey. They cheated. It was voter fraud, but they didn't expect those people to stand up and fight back, and they did. So I would just say that a great deal of this, it has to do with the optics And the other part is that, see, in a lot of these counties here in Georgia, the black people are the majority. But unfortunately, as Dr. Claude Anderson taught us many, many years ago, these people who are the majority, they will still stand back and act like they are including in Fulton County where Atlanta is located. They will sit back and still identify themselves as a minority. They don't know how to take control and take power and move. They still stand back and they look for permission from white folks to be able to do anything. So, like I just want to say that a great deal of this, it has to do with the optics of how they want the state of Georgia to be perceived by the rest of the country, if not the world. And I'll land on that.
Absolutely, because Georgia does have a lot of areas, a lot of rural areas as well in that state too. That, like you say, a lot of counties, if it's not majority black, it's close to be majority black. So Georgia has a ton of black people up in that state, and you see that's one reason too that they're trying to bring a lot of immigrants in there as well too, to go ahead and pretty much to value the black vote as well as much as possible as well in that state too. So just for you guys in here, make sure you're following the host and the co-host. Anybody that wants to speak that hasn't also had that hasn't spoken yet, go ahead and request, and we will bring you up here and let you speak as well too. And also you can support Newstoter on Cash App. That is $Newstoter. Once again, $Newstoter. In the Jumbotron, you can see the PayPal and the Venmo in there as well. If you don't have Cash App, it is $Newstoter. Clarence, my man, let me go ahead and let you get back. I see you got your hand up, so I want to go ahead and let you get a chance to speak. Go ahead, unmute your mic.
Okay, cool. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Am I in the matrix or you in the matrix? So
can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No, that's the same thing that happened to Ray last night.
Okay, he must be Clarence. I think you're in the matrix.
Okay.
If you get a chance, Clarence, go ahead and remove yourself from a speaker and come back in, and we'll go ahead and bring you back up here to let you speak or whatever. Sometimes I don't know what these spaces are. I don't know what's going on with them, but yeah, they really jerk our people around in these spaces and stuff.
News, he's not in the Matrix. News, he's not in the Matrix. News, he in the last den. I'm ready. Please come back in, please.
Hey, even with that being said, though, Black Man shit happened to Ray yesterday, and they caught me off guard with that a couple days ago too. The exact same thing. Talking to yourself, but you were in the matrix though. But we'll give him a 50% pass. 50% though. 50%.
Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic. I know you had something to say.
Man, y'all funny as hell. I just gonna say the original equipment, man. That's literally 20 minutes from where I grew up in Mount Austin, man. So that hits very close to home. As far as Clarence, I want to say this. Excuse me. So he asked about why would it be happening right now with Herschel Walker's son. The reason why it's happening right now, according to Herschel Walker's son himself, is because originally Herschel was supposed to go out and let all this be known about, all this stuff about the abortions and all of his skeletons were supposed to come out at the beginning. That way, obviously, as the campaign kept going on and on, it wouldn't come back to bite him in the ass. But Herschel never did that, or his handlers told him not to. And his son, I guess, had a moment or whatever, and he kind of lost it. So that's why that's being said. And the last thing I'm gonna pass the mic is, hold on, god dang, what I just have it. I just had my talking point ready, but I was gonna talk about both Herschel's pass and as well as Warnock's, because they both got sketchy passes if you really pay attention. Because you got what was it Warnock did? I guess he allegedly ran over his wife's foot. I know his wife was all caught on camera on what was it, Fox News, I believe it was, and she was talking about how absolutely. Well, let me see. You're saying that he's very vindictive and he's very manipulative, and he's always been like that. So this is just allegedly, but Warnock's wife accused him of repeatedly, domestic abuse, and he's currently trying to have a court seal his child custody proceedings during which, he allegedly spent money on his legal fees. And obviously, we have Herschel with his sketchy past. So, we got know what's going on from what I've seen and with a little bit of research I've done.
Yeah, I didn't know that about Warnock, man. I mean, I always hear about Warnock being a preacher, man, and whatnot. So, I didn't know anything like that about him. So I have to go ahead.
Yeah, it's floating around on the on Fox News, and she was like, he is so manipulative. Like, you can't believe anything he said because he allegedly ran over her foot. Like, they made a whole big stink about that. And I just, anyone noticed, like, depending on, obviously what you listen to, the Democrats really won't get as much, they don't really want to talk about that. And it's really crazy how much they can suppress, like all that stuff with Hunter Biden and him allegedly smoking all that crack and stuff. It's really crazy how much, on both sides they can really, control the media to put out what they want to be, seen. And but one more thing, if I land my plane, dudes, I just gotta ask you about this, brother. I know you seen that video because I tagged you in, hopefully, about what is it? Saucy Santana, and he's been doing that music video with Trina about, get your booty. It went from get your booties to the pole.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
No fucking.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that crazy video, man.
Hey, shout out to
complete disgrace.
All I know.
Hey, DJ, I know. Let me see something real quick. Clarence, can you hear me?
Yeah, I fell into the matrix too. The moment we started talking, I went right into the matrix.
Okay, so Clarence, you want to go ahead since you can hear? You want to go ahead and go ahead and get your say in?
Yeah, sure. So I'm driving, so you may get a little background noise. I apologize, but no, what I wanted to respond to, I think it was Brother Ray, a professor, talking about Herschel, to the point about the higher ups don't support Herschel. And I think it's bigger than that. It's bigger than them liking him or not liking him. They see Herschel as a way to gain the Senate back. If Warnock is not in the Senate, then the Republicans will have full control and have the numbers in the Senate. And then that's a huge blow to Biden. So they're playing chess here. It's not about liking Herschel. It's not about Herschel being the best candidate. He can win, and if they can get him in the Senate, they'll control him, as you all say, and they will have full control of the Senate, and Democrats will not have control of it, and the vice president cannot come down and be the deciding vote on certain pieces of legislation. So that's what I see. On the other piece of what the brother was speaking to, I'm not going to dignify that with a response, because the brother doesn't know how to have respectful dialogue, so I'll land the plane in.
Yeah, and we don't want y'all to get in any personal gripe or anything like that. I know Black Pressure, he means well. Maybe he could have worded it a little bit different, Clarence. So yeah, we definitely don't want to take it there. Yeah, you guys, everybody's having a nice dialogue. We know we're gonna have disagreements and stuff like that. So like I said, Black Pressure, he's always up in there. He's pretty blunt, brother, but he doesn't mean any harm about it, and I don't want you to take any harm. So yeah, we definitely don't want anything to get to the point where it starts unraveling and whatnot. So we're gonna definitely try to keep everything, on point as much as possible. One thing I did say, and DJ, I know you were gonna get ready to go next, but Kid Gravity, you up in the space, and when you get a chance, brother, I want to ask you because I know you had a video, and I briefly caught it towards the end about Westmore. So we definitely down here in Florida and whatnot. I've been hearing about Westmore from some of the curated sources on Newstoter. I don't really know him like that, so I wanted to you or Sister Great Ape, when you guys get a chance, to go ahead and just, because from what we're hearing that
let him come up.
Yeah, he's up here, but I'm saying he's up here already, but I don't know if he want to speak. So I'm just asking him, like, I want to know exactly what's his stance, because I hear a lot of people saying that he's going to these other communities and stuff like that, but he's neglecting the Black community up there. He has a chance to be.
Is Obama 2.0. He's going to be the remix. I don't like this dude. I went through his background. I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of what Obama was running on. I'm seeing a lot of, I don't know how to say this. I see a lot of J community connections. I don't like this. This man just got endorsed 2 months ago by the Fraternal Order of Police in Maryland. We already know that's a red flag. And if Maryland voted, I don't like what I'm seeing. And he has way too many Hollywood connections. I don't like it.
So let me add this right here, brother, because I think I saw that the man he's running against is a white man. I can't think his name. I got the paper here somewhere. But isn't he something
Dan
like
Cox.
Isn't he something like 30-some points ahead of this individual as well, too?
Because he's black in Maryland. That was already going to be an uphill fight for that man. But he did do something right, the white man. He did do something right. He went to go talk to black folks at an HBCU. That black man said, "Nah, I'm good on that." That pissed them off. And you know how black folks are. You piss us off, even if we have ideological differences. You piss us off, we gonna say something. And everybody gonna get on code just for that. So that might hurt 5 weeks, but we'll see.
Thank you for that, brother. Like, yeah, I saw that part too. That he was supposed to be doing the little forum at the university, and he decided not to come as well too. So, like you, right, I know that had to kind of sting some of the people up there a little bit. Definitely, like I said, I caught your video on YouTube at the tail end or whatever. So, you guys definitely check out Kid Gravity on YouTube. You guys go ahead and subscribe to his YouTube channel as well, too. Let me get Miss Grade A, because I want to get her opinion on this as well, too. Miss Grade A, go ahead and unmute your mic, sister.
Hey, everybody. So, real quick, Newstoter, I can't thank you enough. I've told you this before, but I want to make it public. You do an amazing job of running your spaces. Extraordinarily organized, respectful of everybody. So thank you. So real quick, Kid Gravity did a video that he sent out today. Please go to his YouTube channel. And then Taurine, and I'll post it in the Jumbotron, did a video a couple days ago as well. I know it may seem like, so real quick, I live in Maryland. I am at the DC-Maryland border. I work in DC. I live in Silver Spring, Maryland. I'll be honest with all of you. I have ignored the Westmore campaign until about a month ago because I was so focused on the council members. Will Jawando is a black council member who just wrote a book. He's the next 3.0. And I was focused on all of them for the primary, and I've been, working with folks since then to try to hold these folks accountable. So Westmore is now on my radar, and I feel like an asshole for waiting a month until the general to do this. But I'm connecting with all sorts of people. We have a Zoom call tomorrow night to figure out what we can do here in Maryland to hold him accountable. He's been neglecting folks. He won't answer. We've reached out to his campaign, including one of his senior advisors, and they won't answer why they canceled on Morgan State University. The dean of the journalism school was quoted in an article recently even stating that it was really a mistake that he didn't do that. Now he's trying to clean it up by reaching out to other HBCUs, but we still don't know why he declined Morgan State. So Newstoter, to your point, it was Dan Cox. He's the white Republican opponent of Westmore, and I've reached out to his campaign, and they contacted me. I also contacted the Libertarian who is running for governor. Obviously, he doesn't have a chance to win, but he's been going back and forth to me because I've been holding him accountable about reparations for Black people. So he has no plan for Black families in Maryland. The plan he has put forth includes brown people. It literally says brown people in the plan. That's disgusting. He won't acknowledge why he declined to Morgan State University and HBCU. He wrote a book in 2010 called The Other Westmore, and even CNN, which I despise, posted an article about how deceptive the book is because Wes Moore said he grew up in Baltimore. This man did not grow up in Baltimore. He's half FBA, first of all. His mother is a Jamaican immigrant. His FBA when he was young. He grew up in Tacoma Park, Maryland. And if any of you know about Tacoma Park, it's a posh, nice place to grow up. He has led people to believe for the past 12 years, including Oprah, in all sorts of interviews, that he grew up in Baltimore. He did not. He went to Johns Hopkins University at age 20 in Baltimore. That's his experience. He used a black man named Wes Moore, who's in prison right now for life, and was wrongly convicted of something that he did not do. He was just associated with that actor, okay, and made a ridiculous amount of money off of this. He's just like Obama 2.0. They're calling him a rising star. White progressives love him. And I want to tell you all real quick, one of the comments from a black, I've been reaching out to people at Morgan State University today because I feel like I'm under the gun in trying to get a hold of someone to do something. But one of the black students, part of the student council at Morgan State University, said they wouldn't vote for Wes Moore or Dan Cox at this point because neither one of them will address abortion rights, transgenderism, and some other bullshit. So what's my point? We're up against Wes Moore, and we're up against ignorant young kids who don't understand that abortion and transgenderism, surgery, and all that shit, and drag queen story hour is not what we need to worry about right now. So I'm going to land my plane. I know I need to be quick here. Mike Bagg had reached out to his campaign manager. Kid Gravity did a video on this. Taurine did a video on this. If you want to help in any way, please follow Wes Moore, just even for the next 4 weeks. His Lieutenant Governor Aruna Miller, who is an Indian immigrant, and also his senior advisor, who's a black man defending, of course, Wes. Please just follow them, and I'll post all this in the Jumbotron when I land my plane, and hold them accountable. That's the easiest thing you can do. And then, in the meantime, if you want to reach out to me via DM, we're having meetings on a regular basis, trying to figure out what we can do here. One of the things we're going to do soon is go to Baltimore and start interviewing folks, because we know that freedmen in Baltimore are against him. But they just don't know what to do, and they obviously don't have the political money to do anything at this point. So we'll start posting those videos soon. Okay, I'll land my plane. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And I had this one question. I'm going to kick it to you, Whitney. We're going to let we got another sister in here that I believe that they may know something about Wes Moore as well too. But let me ask you this right here, Ms. Great. And I know you said he's talking about Brown, this and that. I could take it from what you said that he has mentioned nothing, any tangible about black people. He's definitely not going to say anything about reparations as well.
He has yet. Okay, so I went back in March with his campaign. He has an office less than a mile from my home, and I've stopped by the office. I went through all of his tweets, and I've gone through his campaign site. I plan on calling his campaign office this week. But to answer your question, Newstoter, he has not mentioned reparations, Black American freedmen, foundational Black Americans, or any of our issues at all.
Thank you, sister. That's all I wanted to know. Miss Whitney, go ahead and answer your mic.
Hi. I live in Maryland as well, and I totally agree with everything she just said. And the last thing she said is exactly what I was going to say. He have yet to mention Black people at all. It's like the word black can't roll off his tongue, number one. Number two, the biggest of all, he's being fully backed and endorsed by the police. Okay? And clicked in with the Hollywood crowd, like someone else said. He's one of Oprah's friends. And I would not be surprised if Kamala Harris and Oprah does not come out and endorse him at some point if they think he's losing. And also,
he already did a rally with Biden, so we already know what he's about.
And also, his latest stunt was he actually came out and said that he is going to help immigrants. He took photo ops with them and the whole 9 yards. I think like maybe a week or two ago. I'm not sure, but yeah, he's full on the immigrant bandwagon, and we have our fill of those immigrants here in Maryland. Let me tell you, we are overwhelmed. It's just a mess, and he's going to make it worse. He's not the answer for Maryland at all, for blacks in Maryland.
Y'all going to this fish fry next weekend?
I don't think so.
I'm just saying, he gonna be outside. You have to go over there and ask some questions and get a fish sandwich. I'm just saying.
No, because he's being endorsed by the police. If we go up there talking too much black stuff, we might get locked up or punched in the face, anything, because police here don't play. And if he's going to endorse them, life is going to get real hard for black people here in Maryland. Very hard.
Oh, don't forget, he's down with the Latinx. He's down with Latinx, too.
He's down with what?
Latinx.
Oh, yes. He took a photo op with them. He full-throated came out and said that he is, he's going to back that. He's going to back the immigrant. And he's going to be all for them coming into Maryland.
So you mean to tell me that this man that's in a state that's going to be elected, and he'll be only the third black person since Reconstruction to actually be a governor here in the United States of America, but the only reason he's holding this lead the way he is because you have so many black people in the state of Maryland, in Baltimore, and all those other areas and stuff like that. So you mean to tell me that this man has all this black support here, and he has failed to mention what he can do or what he's going to do for black people at least one time? He's going to sit up here and talk about everybody else under the sun, but he's not going to mention black people, the people that's about to put his butt into the governor's house, the governor's mansion. He's not going to say anything about that.
He's going to go right down the Joe Biden playbook. He has not mentioned black people. He's not going to mention black people. And when he get in, he's going to crush black people. He hasn't said anything about what he's going to do for black people. And the young lady before me, she said a mouthful. Trust me, believe me, everything she said, she is 100% on point. Yes. And he is a fraud.
I'm going to say this right.
Whitney. Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem. I'm going to say this right here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pass it to Black Pressure, original professor. But this is a dilemma that black people in the state face. Black people are told that we have a chance to make history here by electing West to become the governor of Maryland. Like I say, he'd be the third governor since Reconstruction. And really just a second governor in modern history in America, second black governor in modern history in America. So
yeah, that's just another black face in high places. We have moved beyond that. His black face don't mean nothing.
And I agree with you, sister, but the problem is that you're going to have so many other black people that still in Maryland live vicariously through other black people, and they're going to feel like that's a win. Just him winning is a win for all black people. So those black people, they're the reason right now that he enjoys such a big lead in the poll and whatnot. Forget the white folks and everybody. It's those black people. So the simple fact of the matter is that this is why I say black people don't know how to use their own power and refuse to use it. Instead of sending this man a message right now and sending this man on the trail on the campaign trail and say, what are you going to specifically do for black people? Because you do realize if you win this election, it's going to be because of black people put you in the office. So what are you going to do specifically, since you're telling all these other people and all these other communities, all these other ethnic groups, what you're going to do for them? What are you going to do for us? Why should we vote for you? Why should we care if you're the third governor since Reconstruction, black governor? How is that going to put food on our table? How is that going to put a roof over our head? How is that going to put a secure little Johnny's college tuition and whatnot? How is that going to do anything for me in my retirement? Why should I care? Okay? But you don't have that, and he was really smart. See, he didn't go out there to that HBCU because they didn't want him to get hit with some of those pressing questions that I know that they had waiting on him, because they can feel the actual momentum of this whole reparation agenda swinging around. It's swinging around the entire world, and we mentioned that yesterday. It's swinging around the entire world. The entire world is talking about it. So it's only intensifying. And they're doing everything, and they did it with Raphael Warnock. Whenever somebody mentioned it to him, he went ahead a few months ago and completely sidestepped the question. Like he didn't even hear what the person was talking about. Clyburn, they talk about him, he gets mad, he starts cursing. After you ask Stacey Abrams, well, we just can't do everything. We can't just do anything for black people. They only make up 13% of the population. But yet, when you have that advantage, like you said, up there in the Baltimore, D.C. area, when you have that advantage and you're about to make history here, where is your agenda? Where are your bargaining chips? What are you getting from this besides being a footnote in history? But besides saying, yeah, I cast a vote, and this man became the first black governor of Maryland, and he became the second, third black person in modern history to hold it. Who gives a damn? But how beneficial to black people is this right here? It's beneficial to him and his family. It goes nice. It's a nice little read up in the history book or whatever. It gives up that it helps perpetuate the story that we're in a race neutral society and all this other nonsense. But what good is that going to do black people in that area in Baltimore and Maryland? So I just want to know, like I say, until black people sit up here and actually, and like I say, we can say in these other places, well, we can't do this. But this guy's entire political career right here is in the hands of black Americans. They can sit up here and they can make or break his whole campaign right here. They're going to sit up here and they're going to make it. And this man sitting up here telling you that he's not going to do a damn thing for you, basically. He's telling you that by not saying what he's going to do. If he's sitting up here mentioning every other group except your group, then he's already telling you that I'm not going to do anything for you. But I want you to go out there, and I want you to make sure you vote, and you get as many people out there to go out there and register to vote as well, too. And by us voting, we're going to overcome and all this other nonsense that they've been pumping for 60 years. But now they use a black face to go ahead and pump it, and they use history to hide behind it. Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, two quick things, News. This is for the black family in Baltimore. So, I'm in Houston, so it's really hard for me to keep up with a lot of the particulars and nuances. Has the guy, the Moore guy, this, like I say, just anybody in that area, has he gone on the Black Church tour yet or not? And that's a question. And also, too, for the black family in Georgia, maybe Ray can answer this. I know from my little limited research about Warnock, didn't he getting some heat behind not wanting to prosecute some cops that gunned his grandmother down or something like that? I might be a little off about who they killed, but I think he got some heat about that, and I'll just land my plane for anybody that has any answers.
No, to answer your question, I don't know, because I was born in Georgia, but I haven't lived in Georgia in like 15 years or so. I'm actually in Pensacola, Florida.
I know Warnock got in trouble for not letting the cops investigate some child abuse case. So I don't know if that's what you were asking about.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so many different stories come up, Black. I don't know if I may have heard something like that, but I'd have to actually, kind of go back a little bit because I'm not entirely sure though.
And the reason he paid by Soros too, anyway. So
yeah, the reason I asked about the Black Church tour is because that guy that didn't want to prosecute the cop Breonna Taylor, the one of the main ways he got elected, he went on the black church tour, and the black church stood them up, and they say that again.
I'm not sure. The last 2 weeks. I'm not sure if the Black Church Tour works in Maryland anymore, or if it ever did. I'm not sure about that. Maybe Ms. Gray can answer that question.
So I don't know for sure. Here's what I do know. From what I've been reading, and in terms of polls and news articles in Washington Post, there are plenty of Black people, and I'm going to use the term Black because that includes, in what I'm about to say, immigrants and foundational Black Americans, freedmen who associate with any of those terms and are ignorant to what we're doing here and our movement. From what I've read, they all love him and support him. Okay? I've been doing research all this week, over last weekend. They consider him like Obama in a good way. So I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't shown up to Black churches. What I want to share with all of you is that we are working with some other organizations, and I can't be too public about it, to get him to participate in an interview about the election. And I promise to post details of that as they become available and as I can. I'll land my plane.
Thank you, sister. Let's go ahead and get to we're gonna get to Original, and we're gonna get to Professor. Go ahead, Original.
Yeah, Newstoter. I want to say this, and I heard one of the members of the Maryland family say that his mother was an immigrant, and what amongst Black people, most of us are closer to our mother's side of the family than our father's side of the family. Because that's how my family, I'm more connected to my mother's side of the family than my father's side of the family. So if his mother was an immigrant from wherever, he is going to push that immigrant agenda. I mean, just get ready for it. But I hope you all are able to, interject something so that that doesn't happen to you. Because he, as someone said, he is going to crush you. He will crush you. And the one thing that I've been doing for the past few election cycles, when these Black folks run for these public offices, like when when Ben Jealous ran for governor of Maryland in 2018, he, Big Swole, which y'all know as Stacey Abrams, Andrew Gillum, all three of them ran at the same time in 2018. They all had the same platform. They had what they would do for the illegal aliens. They had what they would do for the gay white community. Didn't have a damn thing, people. I mean, just like now, Big Swole, she is struggling. She put this thing out about an agenda for the Black male. But then I go to her website, which houses her official platform that she's going to work if she is elected. That agenda is not on that platform, but the agenda for the illegal aliens, the gay white folk, is on her platform. And you may remember, Newstoter, I think I threw the article from when she ran in 2018, how she invited these gay white folks into her campaign headquarters. And then when she was invited to a candidate forum put on by the Divine Nine, she didn't show up. This is how they treat Black folks. And they're not going to stop until we shut them down. They have to be shut down because, I pulled their platform and I got screenshots of a lot of them. When Ben Jealous ran in 2018 in Maryland, it was a page and maybe about an eighth to maybe a fourth of a second page what he would do for these gay white folks if he was elected governor of Maryland. So I would advise the Maryland family, y'all need to organize and organize quick. I mean, it can be done where you can, due to the information, the social media, say organize and organize quickly, because if this boy is elected, he is going to crush you all. And I'm going to land on that.
All right. Let me get original, and then I'm gonna go. I'm sorry. Let me get Professor, and then let me get FBA. And Ray, I saw the message. You cool, man. We ain't even sweating it. If it comes back up, we'll have it. But we ain't sweating it.
All right, I'm a dead issue. I just sent you a message. I'm leaving it alone.
Yeah, I saw it. But you got it. You got it, Professor.
All right. Thank you, Newstoter, and Miss Grade 8. Thank you for coming on the stage and giving us the details about Westmore, Kid Gravity. I'm going to definitely follow you, man, because I want to continue to follow on this situation, because it seems like, and Sister Whitney too, it seems like, y'all, what's happening all across the country is these black people that are running in these different positions are going to do the same thing. Undoubtedly, this is a platform to ignore black people. And it's like it's coming, and I'm thinking it's coming from the head people in the Democratic Party, set the platform saying, hey, we're not going to talk about anything in reference to black people. We're not going to talk about tangibles for black Americans. We're going to just ignore that, skip them, and we're going to deal with immigration. We're going to deal with the alphabet people and all of that bullshit. Okay? But we all going to have to stand together and make sure that these people do not get into these positions. Stacey Abrams, I have even started my own campaign against her right on these spaces where I say no vote for the ginger girl. And I'm telling you, is sitting up here lying, talking about she got a platform for black men. I went out there like original and read the platform. It says basically men of color or people of color, excuse me. It doesn't actually address black men, even though she said that it was a black man's agenda. In the actual language, it's saying people of color. So that means she's not going to address the issues with us. So this is what all of them are doing, and we got to make sure we keep these people out of the position on, but they are not down with our causes. They're not speaking directly to us. I don't want to see a single one of these damn folks get in. Unfortunately, in Georgia, you got that situation with Warnock and Herschel Walker, two black men. You kind of have to just throw your hands up on that. It's the picking of the less of the two evils. And so I don't know. You got two coons right there. So I don't know. You got two coons right there. So I don't know what to tell the people in Georgia, but either way.
Night, but I share the same sentiments as everyone. You know, it's black and brown, minority, whatever, however you want to label it, say it or whatever. They're not talking about us. You know, Dr. Anderson, Claude Anderson, been taught us about, you know, the benign neglect policy that they, you know, implemented. So that's all it is. And I want to say I love the family because everybody's, we saying the same thing. I love it. I love it. I love it. And we got to keep pushing for these reparations, man. Cut us out, Chet. And peace, family. Love y'all.
No doubt. And we got to show when we have somebody that's that close to holding major, I got a damn show, ask them about it too, and hold them accountable. Like, hey, yeah, we get that you talking about all these other communities of color and people of color and undeserved communities and immigrant children and this and that, but these Black Americans that set up here and got your ass elected in office, we want to know what you gonna do for us. So we need to stop being nice about it and roll up our sleeves and get down and dirty and let the people know that, hey, this ain't gonna fly. Okay, Gravity, before I get to you, let me, Miss Grade A, Miss Grade A.
Okay, I'll just be quick. And I'm asking you all to please DM me. Please follow me or DM me, and just I have a plan in place for the next 4 weeks. And it's as simple as holding him accountable on social media on this app. And then I'll have more updates after I have a Zoom call tomorrow with some local Maryland voters. So I know we're all talking about this and it's important, but in terms of action, I'm not asking any of you to fly here, to canvas, to donate money. Nothing difficult. I'm asking you to please follow me and DM me, and I'll give you a simple plan for the app. And that's all I got to say. I'll thanks, Newstoter.
You're welcome, sister. And if you got something in the DM, you know, you can always DM me. If you need me to tweet something out or comment on something or whatever, just let me know. A lot of times people send me stuff in the DM and I have to tell them, like, go ahead, because I don't know how to tweet it out from the DM. So I just tell them to go ahead and put it on their timeline and I'll tweet it out or whatever. Just tag me in the post and I'll go ahead and I'll retweet it out, because I'm not exactly sure how to tweet this stuff out from the actual DM. So if you got something, sister, just go ahead and do whatever. Just let me know, and we can go ahead and we can do it.
Thanks, brother. I'm going to head down to the audience. Thank you. And I will do.
No problem. Kid Gravity, you got to go ahead and unmute your mic.
Oh, Stacy is so desperate right now. It's funny just to watch her timeline. Now, Governor Kemp did a event today with Black men. And from what I'm hearing, they're moving towards him because he actually has concrete policies that he's going to put in place, and they're going to hold him to it. So he basically gave them the bat phone. And I guess since Stacey saw that, she's been going on this tweeting spree about how he's going to destroy this state. Like I think that those pictures and that tweet broke her. So I think we're winning this. I put a couple of them in the jumbotron. The shit is hilarious.
And that's something you rarely see is the actual GOP actually try to talk the Black and that. I think that people can kind of see at this point that the Black vote, at least a demographic of it, a percentage of it, is kind of up for the taking. So a lot of these actual Democrats that for years they haven't had to do anything. It's just election time. They know that the Black people are going to like that. So that was a smart move by Kemp. Now I know one thing: Georgia's supposed to have a $6 billion surplus. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with that money and put those in different programs and stuff like that as well too. So that's what Black people need to start asking and stuff too. Like, oh yeah, we know you guys had a $6 billion surplus. What do you guys plan on doing with that money? How's it going to go? How is some of that money going to go to benefit Black people in this state? We have to start asking some of these questions here, y'all. We just, when it comes time to actually ask these questions and trying to get results and stuff, we just a little bit too quiet and a little bit too nice. And we're sitting up here letting other people, just pretty much make up things as it goes. So I mean, we have to kind of start getting our agenda and pushing it forward and not caring who likes it. We don't care if the Black politicians don't like it. Black pressure. You go ahead and unmute your mic.
So I just wanted to say, man, I'm the Black fam in Baltimore got me interested in the Queen was at Miss Great Ape. So follow me back. I definitely want to play the sideline and kind of learn from y'all, and I'll land my plane there.
Absolutely. Ray, go ahead, unmute your mic.
I'm gonna be real quick, family. I was just gonna say that I was in Tariq's space. It was, I know it's kind of off subject, but I wanted to make sure everyone kept an eye on this. There was a brother that is, I guess, he's putting together a reparations march, but in the flyer, I guess it has something about the descendants of Jim Crow or something like that. So, just little language like that, you have to make sure you're watching out for, especially when it comes to reparations, because that's a way for them to kind of like crowbar some stuff in. I mean, maybe the brother didn't mean it, maybe it was acting it, but hey, just like I said, I wanted to put that out there, and I land there.
Before we can worry about Jim Crow, and Jim Crow is a very important thing, and it deserves reparations as well too. But before we get to Jim Crow, we got to handle the main thing that this country was founded on. The country wasn't founded on implemented Jim Crow after slavery, but we need to go ahead and worry about that slavery first, worry about the descendants of slaves, and then after we get that straight, because let's be for real, if you're a descendant of slaves, you're also a descendant of Jim Crow. So there may be a few more people that might get thrown in here, but make no mistake, it's not a whole bunch of people. Jim Crow was still meant for black people. So,
but you know how that goes. Descendant of Jim Crow, anyone that was brown during that time is gonna say they were afflicted. That's just gonna be about reparations.
Because we right here in the South, right here, and these brown people were not living in black neighborhoods. These brown people were not going to get in the South. I'm in the deep South. These black people were not. These people were not doing all this and that. So there is no They can sit up here and say this and that or whatever. I got parents and I got aunts and uncles, the grandparents and everything else that was born in Jim Crow. So we can just knock that off right there. Like I said, we're gonna handle this thing with slavery first and foremost. Then we can handle Jim Crow. Jim Crow deserves its own merit as well. I'm not saying that, but first and foremost, the most important thing is the descendants of slaves, those who built this country and received nothing in return, those who had their families broken up and split, those who were destroyed for generations. Those are who we're going to focus on for right now. And then afterwards, we could talk about Jim Crow. We could talk about the highways going through the black neighborhood. We can talk about the war on drugs. We can talk about the mass incarceration. We can talk about any and everything else after that. Once we get this right here straightened out, this needs to be the actual base for everything else. And then off of that, we can go ahead and we can address all the other issues at America. We can talk about racism, and we can talk about gender bias, and we can talk about all this other stuff after the descendants of slavery get the check cut. Then we can sit up here and we can have these great discussions and stuff like that. And so then I don't even want to hear it. I'm not entertaining it. It don't have anything to do with me. Because I'm going to worry about what we've been worrying about for the past 100-some years after slavery. We're going to worry about the actual reparations, and everything else will take care of itself in due time. So, like you said, that's just a cop-out. That's somebody just sitting up here trying to derail things and this and that. This brother may be sincere and this and that, but somebody needs to tell this brother that, hey, the biggest fight right now going on is for slavery. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with us fighting about that. So we go ahead and we'll deal with that, and we'll deal with also these politicians up here that constantly ignore everything that we say. They ignore it because we don't bring it up to them, and when we bring it up to them, we let these people go ahead and shush us, and we leave it at that instead of really just going into them. So Westmore, Herschel Walker, Raphael Warnock, Stacey Abrams, Tim Scott, it doesn't matter whether you're a black GOP or you're a black liberal. It's like just putting your hand in a barrel and just picking an apple out. It's all the damn same. They all go and they all toe the company line. They all think about their party first and their race second. And people can sit up here and play these games and lie and sit up here and say, well, no, you got everybody you have to worry about it, this and that. I said this before and I'll say it again. There's never been not one white politician that has been in office and has not done anything for white people. If you're a white candidate, if you're white and you're holding political office and you don't do anything for your constituents who are white, you will not be holding office for long. You will get kicked out of there. And you will never, ever get a chance to hold office again. And you'll be made an example for all the other white people that come behind you. out for your people. So I don't want to hear this thing about black people because Hispanics, when they get in office, they do for us was enough. DJ, you got your hand up. You got it.
Yeah, what district and county rather this Westmore guy's running in? Kid Gravity or Great?
He's running for governor of Maryland.
Or the whole governor of Maryland. Sorry, I'm looking at something else that I was reading in that article that you posted. My bad. But even with that being said, I used to live down in Capitol Heights in the DMV area, and it seemed like a lot of the black folks don't seem to care down there politically anyway. So what is the plan for y'all to get this dude not elected, or who is next up that's running in the governor race to try to combat this guy?
This Joker's up like about 30 points, cuz. I mean, he's
and with the fraternal order endorsing him, that's obvious. Like a nail in the coffin for Maryland, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in Maryland, they're so democratic. They just don't care. As long as you're black and you got a D behind your name, false, it's just going to be what it is. You're already in. Like, I'm sure Kwesi and the rest of them already endorsed that dude, so he golden. He don't have to do much. He already said that black grassroots ain't shit by not going to Morgan State. As long as I got the black elite in Baltimore, which is damn near corrupt anyway. I'm going to win this race.
You talk about the white cat? Kid Gravity, you talk about the white dude?
Yeah, he really gonna have to go into like West and East Baltimore and really sit down and have a conversation with the black folks. Force that guy to go down there and talk to him.
I mean, does he have to? This white opponent, does he have to? Versus
if he wants to win that state, he's gonna have to, because Baltimore is gonna probably decide that state. He's gonna have to.
He's gonna have to do something. I mean, and we know polls aren't always the end all be all, and we know how sometimes they lie and whatnot. But I find it hard to believe that if you're getting welled on by 30 points, hey, you're gonna have to do something. Like we know that polls might be 5 points off or 7 points off, hell, even 10 points, but 30.
Right. So what's the current governor's?
Another story. He loves immigrants. He's fine with I live in a sanctuary county, and I don't even want to go into that on this call. But Westmore will make this state a sanctuary state. Westmore, mark my words. So yeah, Larry Hogan is a Republican. He's anti-Donald Trump. He wrote a book during the lockdowns. He thought all of us should be vaccinated. So he doesn't act like a typical Republican. And then in terms of the comment about, it's a foregone conclusion with Westmore, I don't completely agree with that. I'm not naive. I've read the polls. I've read the 30 points ahead. I don't always believe polls. I also spoke with a woman recently. She's a mom, a wife, and a realtor, entrepreneur who lives in Catonsville, Maryland, Westmore's book, and she's been following all of this. And she said that on a regular basis, when she's in Baltimore, every week, she's talking to black people like us who are against him. They don't buy into the bullshit, but they don't know what to do. And again, this is where I feel shame for not getting on this sooner, because I was so focused on county politics. We have a lot of bullshit politicians at the county level. We have 1 million people in this county, okay? We're adjacent to D.C., so all the liberal bullshit you guys read in the news about DC, just imagine it happens here too. Okay, I'm getting ready to land my plane. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion yet. Yes, Larry Hogan is a Republican. He's going out, but he's not your typical Republican. He's married to a fucking immigrant. Sorry, excuse my language. He's married to an immigrant. We're going to work hard over the next 4 weeks to try to reach out to folks. I've reached out to the dean of the journalism school at Morgan State, who stated publicly in a news article that it was a mistake for Wes Moore to decline the invitation to show up for the debate at the school. I reached out to someone today who knows one of the heads of the student council. I'm going to be talking to people, to the brother's point earlier about those of us FBI freedmen who don't even recognize how absurd the Democrats are and how they're not, they don't care about us. So there's still hope. Again, follow me. I'll follow you back. DM me. We'll figure out what we can do over the next 4 weeks. I land my plane.
Hey, just real quick, sis. So, okay, I got a lot of family that live down there in the Maryland DMV area. So a lot of them are from up here in Jersey or whatever, prior to us having our little like immigration issues up here way back in the 80s. They moved from Jersey to Maryland in like 85 or whatever. And been down there ever since. So, when I have my conversations with my family, we, like you said, we talking these talks, they be like, damn, cuz, why you be going in on these people? Hey, cuz, you don't know, yo. You better start paying attention to these politics that's down there. Because I be seeing certain cats that's running down there. They not for us black folks, but until us collectively get off our ass. And I guess, like you said, I understand that, Maryland got, some hierarchy black folks down there, and like, was that like Bowie, Maryland, and certain parts like that. So, I'm not sure how you could get them folks to move the needle. But if it's all about this white dude going down into B-more, down in the hood, hey, man, I don't know if our folks would like to be willing to vote for this white cat because he, right? This other, Wes Moore's opponent.
Okay, so you're right, and I didn't want to go into this on this call because I know that it's important to be brief on these spaces. But you're right. Listen, that's why I'm trying to get a hold of someone at Morgan State. The dean of the J school, who was Wes Moore declined, and Dan Cox, the white candidate Republican, showed up. Because you're right, but here's what I'm trying to get people to see, and I want to say this publicly on this recorded space, and then I want to let you all know this is my tagline. Okay, I've spoken to Dan Cox's campaign, and I don't. Their first issue is anti-Semitism. Okay, I don't even have to go into that because I know you all understand why that's problematic. But he is heavily anti-illegal aliens. He's anti-sanctuary cities, counties, and making this a sanctuary state, which Wes Moore will do. Dan Cox.
Dan Cox. So that's the guy that's running against Wes Moore. Yeah, lay it down on this real quick as you can.
Yes. So I reached out to them. They don't want. Okay. I didn't want to tell all of you this because you're going to jump on me, but I have a strategy here. They are anti-immigrant, okay, illegal aliens, and they want a moratorium on immigration. Okay, so that benefits us immediately within the next 4 weeks with the general, and that buys us time to start at the grassroots level from the county on up. Because like I said, I'm active with the county executive here. I had an interview with him in August, and the county council members, including Will Jawando. That's a whole nother story. That buys us time to start heavily lobbying them with reparations in our movement. Okay, we need the listen to me, y'all. We need the white Republican guy, Dan Cox, to win the race. He has no plan for us specifically. He is pro Second Amendment, which is important to all of us, and the First Amendment, and he wants to put a stop to massive immigration. He wants to enforce E-Verify statewide, and he's against illegal aliens in sanctuary cities and counties. So, but that's my strategy. Over the next 4 weeks, I'm trying to educate folks, and that's why I'm reaching out to Morgan State, HBCU folks, to see if they can educate folks to see the immediacy of the issue. And then we'll keep moving forward. And I have something real funny. I'm going to land my plane, but I have something funny to tell y'all. So I'm working with Ross. I don't remember her perfect handle. Ross from DMV or Ross DMV. And she told me so that
big sis right there, Ross. Shout to Ross.
Okay, I promise I'll land my plane. She had a funny story to me today where she was talking to her mom. Her mom is a senior citizen. And her mom looked at Wes Moore's picture, because I don't know if you've all seen him, but yeah, he's a good-looking brother. In fact, my Jewish coworker, who told me he doesn't understand why we don't have reparations yet, I convinced him to change his party affiliation to vote in the primary for certain Democrats, because this is a very blue state, so you got to be strategic. So we changed our affiliation to vote in the primary for the Democrat that is least dangerous to us. Anyway, he looked at Wes Moore's picture and he was like, oh, he's a good looking man. He's fine. So anyway, I talked to Ross today, and her mom was like, because a lot of us, the Divine Nine, all of us, we're just stuck in the past, strolling to the polls, voting for Democrats. So her mom looked at a picture of him and she was like, oh, he is good looking. He looks like he looks like he could be related to us. And Ross was like, Mom, we're not going to do that this time. It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant, Mom. We're not going to do this time. And she educated her on why we're not voting for Wes Moore. All right. So I land my plane. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, sis. Appreciate it. Let's go ahead and get to original. And then we're gonna go ahead and Whitney, I know you had your hand up. Did you want to speak again too, sister? Because I saw your hand up earlier. Okay, said no. That's cool. We'll go ahead and we'll get to original. Go to original, then Kid Gravity.
Yeah, I want to speak to Miss Great Bay and Whitney, the Baltimore family. Do you all remember what I think it was 2016 or 20, I forget which one it was, 2016 or 2018. Now, Donna Edwards, who you presented for Maryland, who didn't do a damn thing for Black people, and when she tried to run for Senate, they came out and voted for the white guy so she couldn't get in and continue to crap on Black people. And then she tried to run for a county commission seat or something like that. And they said, look, no more. We are not going to allow you to continue to crap on us and put you in office. So I'm wondering if you all could possibly use that in a way to where you can convince other Black people to say, look, if we vote this guy into office, it's on this platform. He's not going to do a damn thing for us. So we need to make sure he's not elected. So that at least we would have a fighting chance. And if you could respond to that, I greatly appreciate it. And I'll land with that.
Maybe Kid may have something to say. I'm not Kid Gravity. You're not up there in the Baltimore area, though, are you?
No, I just know a lot of people up there. Connection that I'm looking into, and from what I've been seeing, it looks nefarious as hell. That's why I started saying he's the remix of Obama. But I wanted to ask Great Ape this question. I know she's probably a little tired of answering questions, but that story you told about that woman that's the realtor in Baltimore, do you think that they got disillusioned with that race between Kwesi Efume and Kimberly Kleisick in 2020?
So from what she shared with me, up until 2022, these same folks were like all the rest, vote blue no matter, and thought Kim Klacik was bullshit and Trump was bullshit and all that. But as all of you know, the lockdown woke up a lot of people. I mean, I've been awoke since 2015 when Trump came down the escalator, and one of the first things he talked about was Mexicans not sending their best and their brightest, I was like, I'm voting for this man. Because I had competed against illegal aliens for work. During the Great Recession, I really suffered a lot. But anyway, to answer your question,
that's why I left Maryland. Because when the recession hit, you can't compete with these immigrants willing to work for cheap. And I wanted to stay down there, but
okay, so you're right. So to answer your question, people are feeling differently now. And this woman, her name is Crystal. She said people just are on a whole nother level. Black people, foundational Black Americans, freedmen, are on a different level on the streets of Baltimore. They're just the past 2 years have destroyed their lives, which were already bad. So I think this is just about education and spreading the word and getting folks, and that's what we're trying to do over the next 4 weeks. And it's going to be stressful, and none of us have a lot of time, and we're trying to figure out. But we want to get on the ground, do the interviews. They won't be cute videos. We're just going to, our iPhone or whatever, start interviewing folks and posting them on social media. And I've got Twitter covered, and she's got Instagram and Facebook covered. And we're just going to keep moving forward. And we know that if there's, I don't believe in polls. That's just because I like to comfort my mind into what the outcome will be. But if he wins after the election, we will even double down. Obviously, we're going to even double down. And we'll continue to hold him accountable. But we're trying to do as much as we can now. And to everyone's point about Morgan State and folks not understanding the urgency of now and thinking he's so cool because he's Obama 2.0 or whatever, we're working on that too. So I hope I answered that question. The answer is there are people who have woken up since the lockdown.
Yeah, you got DJ.
Yeah, so with that being said, Ms. Grape Soda, I think the best thing to do is like you said, you mentioned, Instagram and all the social sites. These social sites, they got us all blocked with keywords and algorithms. If you mention Black, you mention Negro, freedmen, reparations, it gets nowhere. And as far as even if you're talking cross-platform socialization, meaning, all of us obviously got a Facebook account, Instagram account, YouTube account, Twitter account. And even a Black agenda. I think what y'all also say with we're literally right here in North New Jersey or Jersey in general. So it's what are we supposed to do? So the one thing that I've come to a conclusion is, being a technical person, the only thing, and the person that just go hand in hand in the street, because I still sell physical merchandise. So I'm out in the street talking to people all day, every day. Our peoples is just so keen on Trump, we got to make sure Trump don't get in there again, and Republicans this, that, and the third. But hold up, what about what the Democrats ain't doing for you versus what they're doing for everybody else? I'll be okay. Jesus got me. You know what I mean? A good ass job, like my sister. I'm a vote blue to the day I die. Hold up, sis. You from the same womb and spot I grew up in. So if you don't understand because you moved out the area many years ago, that, hey, what I'm telling you, this is a problem. So when your son has kids, they may not be able to even get a job in the future. And she got mad at me. Don't call me about this crap no more. Don't text me no more. You know what I mean? Because I'm being honest with you. But this is the level of stuff a lot of our families ain't gonna be able to take. So you gotta really go look for your 144. You know what I mean?
Me and you both, DJ.
Yeah. You already know we're the black sheep gang. Hey, matter of fact, let's get some t-shirts. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Real
DJ,
talk,
hey, welcome to the club, brother. Same thing with my...
Just to deal with my plane, I think what you got to do, Sister Great, is pretty much come up with some physical merchandise. Like me, I've been able to do a reparations DVD. Because I still sell physical media, CDs, DVDs. So I've been giving it to, mainly a lot of old folks, telling them, hey, look, reparations, immigration is an issue. I can't maintain a job because it is. I'm constantly getting fired for a job because these tethers just won't let you in or allow you to stay there. So if you ever look up I want to try to get a employment space going where if you look up, obviously, any EEOC, race-based discrimination case filed by a Black American, nine times out of 10, it gets thrown in the trash and swept under the rug. So when a lot of folks be saying, oh, Black people are lazy, but hey, there's a reason behind that. We're not lazy, you know what I mean? It's just that we're not given these same opportunities everybody else is getting. So another thing we've been able to discover too, and I'm planning on taking a lot of this information we talked to and yield this shit down to the street. Housing, social services. I'm planning on calling these people and having meetings with these folks. Hey, look, we know that you're giving immigrants $2,800 a week, every 2 weeks, up to $5,000 a month. We got clear proof of this shit now. But our folks just don't seem to care, yo. Black Negro freedmen that's been here don't seem to care. With the empathetic, to be empathetic to other people, it's like we don't even care to save our own skin. We'll burn in a fire and let somebody else get saved. You see that shit in the movies. Black people always saving the white little girl. When the hell we going, man, fuck you, little bitch. You know what I'm saying? Get your ass in the fire. Get eaten by them zombies. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting up out of here. That's how we got to start thinking. You know what I mean? So basically come up with some type, like you said, you got a strategy, but put it to a physical print and start giving that shit away to people. And make sure they, whatever that print is the information that they could come back up here on Twitter, Newstoter, Reparations Perspective, whoever talking the talk, and get the information. But even a lot of my family still, because I put together a text group and I'll be bombing them. And I've gotten 2 family members, a great auntie and a cousin. They respond to me now because I know you looking at this stuff, yo. I don't gotta say anything anymore. Just post the information. So just find a physical way that you could put this stuff into a print newsletter, maybe a little business card with the information, put some QR codes on there, and just like you said, go to the college. You just start giving them away. These kids, they old enough to vote now. Hey, look, over there, folks at the school, hey, look, we doing this. Or go down to the social services, go hit the church, just start giving away information with detailing everything that's going on. Because that's what I'm about to do. So if you need some printing, give me a call. I got you.
EJ, when you said that about saving the white girl in those movies or whatever, I was thinking about that movie with Denzel Washington, where he saved the little white girl for that immigrant family, where it was a white woman and an immigrant family. Yeah, Man on Fire.
Yeah. Oh, man, that shit had me hot, yo.
Denzel took the dad for some damn immigrant family. That's what's going on right now, everybody, is Black people are putting themselves second or last to help everybody else. And I'm sick of looking at that shit. I'm sick of us doing it, and we've been doing it for 2 goddamn. They're supposed to be out there lobbying or passing legislation to help us to keep our jobs, to keep our families safe. Few days of how we're being disrespected in all these spaces. And I look at our politicians who are supposed to be us or look like us and representing us, and they walk right past us like we ain't shit. And they don't mention us by name. As Black Americans, y'all, this should wake you up and say, man, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm tired of people walking past me and not addressing the issues that relate to my people and my needs. I'm sorry, everybody, that I got on this tangent, but I just had to say it because I've been looking at videos, I've been reading articles about things that are just continuing to happen to us, and we still. He'll be walking around here smiling and cooning for these goddamn, for a goddamn Mexican family and a damn white woman and her damn white little daughter. Fuck this shit.
Hey.
You and Ray go ahead and get a final word in before we go ahead and close the space out. Ray, you got something you want to add?
I'm good, brother, but I appreciate you, giving the mic to me, and thank you for everybody that came out. We'll catch y'all on the next one.
I see Black Pressure. You got a question? Go ahead, Black Pressure.
I want to tell Professor Denzel did it in The Equalizer, saving white girls, and that's all I had to say.
He sure did, man. They got poor Denzel just cooning in all these damn movies, man. Damn, except Malcolm X, the one that he should have got an Oscar for. Shit.
Y'all, I know we're ending this space, but I have to tell you, I thought of Denzel immediately when the comment was made. He has like several movies where he's rescuing white people. I land my plane.
Hey, real quick, hold on, real quick, because I see we got the man Zigzag up in here. Zigzag, I remember you came up in the space before and you said a little something that you kind of like bounced. So, is there something that you want to add to the discussion tonight, brother?
Yeah, no, I'm just enjoying the conversation and listening in, trying to gain some knowledge. But yeah, I see these so-called politicians and doctors and lawyers and judges on Supreme Courts that have what do you call it? They do the voodoo dolls and they sew their lips shut. That's the kind of thing I was drawing a few years back about Clarence Thomas. And I just saw something in his character wasn't right. So I'm just saying, sometimes you just have to sketch what's on your heart, Professor. If you feel it, you got to express it. Go for it. So I feel you. I'm enjoying the conversation. And thank you very much. Peace to everybody.
No problem, brother. Good to have you back in the space. I remember you was in here a while ago, so it
called The Cleaning Lady on CBS, I believe it is. Let's double check this show. What is this? Hold up a minute. Click it back. What is this? Anyway, to make a long story short, it's called The Cleaning Lady. And basically what this lady is, she's like, immigrant coming across the border, and the cartels is like looking for her, but here go the FBI trying to help her out to stay in the country. The other show that I can't stand is the Bob Hart's Abishola. I don't know if y'all saw that. That's another fucking problem right there, that show. And it's a couple of these shows that are a problem. I'll give you a commercial real quick, right? Don't support that Modelo beer, Modelo. So when you look at their commercials, right, all it is like, hey, they're basically saying like, you went through hell on earth, and the only way you could pull out of that if you come from another place type shit. Listen to the rhetoric and the language of these commercials and these shows that they putting out. But they've been replacing us in Hollywood perspective because we always the first to die. You already know. I yield there, man. Good night, y'all.
Thank you for saying that, DJ. That's true. That's very true.
Yeah, I just want to go ahead and thank everybody coming to the space tonight. We talked about Herschel Walker. We talked about Westmore. Had a pretty good discussion going on. So I just want to thank everybody who was a speaker tonight, everybody who came out and listened, everybody who shared out the space. Once again, we enjoy having you guys. Our normal time is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Thursday. So that means we will be back tomorrow. I have a show in mind right now. So, guys, also let me know, because sometimes I send out these reminders and it's almost like bulk or whatever. And I don't want to be just sending out too many to y'all. So I'm gonna try to go ahead and cut back on that. Somebody's like, damn, bro, I got a couple of your notifications. Like, you don't have to keep sending them. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make sure I try to cut back on the actual amount of notifications I'm sending to y'all or whatever. Like I said, a lot of times it's just bulk. I'm sending them, clicking, DM, and boom. So definitely gonna have to keep that in mind as well too. But thank you guys again for coming out tonight. We had a nice discussion, very intelligent discussion, and hopefully, we can go ahead and put our heads together and we can help Sister Miss Grade 8 that's up there in the Baltimore, Maryland area, as they have a huge election that's getting ready. History, but not exactly what this candidate is going to offer his people, because thus far it doesn't look like he's trying to offer too much. So we pretty much know what we got with Herschel Walker. We pretty much know why he's there. He's going to be the GOP watch boy. So that's nothing surprising right there. But once again, it shows you whether GOP or whether liberal, they still have watch boys and watch girls. So it's not really, is it really that much of a difference between Walker and Westmore and some of these other people that's up here in office? I don't know. You tell me. We know Walker ain't really playing with a full deck, but he is Herschel. But nonetheless, coming out and supporting the space. Make sure you guys, for that notification, y'all set your notifications tomorrow. We're going to have another space, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night. So you guys have a good one.